Okay. Good evening. So we ready to start our evening session. So far we are in good conditions, continuing with our topics. In the morning, Banteji was able to finish about Samma Vacha. Noble8FoldPath, already 3 steps finished. Now we're going to start the 4th steps. Right action, Samma Kammanta. The word Kammanta is very familiar and famous one. Related to the Kammanta, there's a word Kamma. That word is the more familiar one, the most familiar one, the Kamma. That's why sometimes they use even as a credit Kamma too. They're looking for credit Kamma too. That much popular word Kamma. There is a relationship with this Kammanta. Kammanta activities. So right action or right activities. What are the things that we should do? Samma Kammanta, right action. The way how we should behave. As human beings, we have so many activities and different behaviors, various behaviors, patterns we have. So in here, right actions, what kind of behaviors that we should develop ourselves if we are willing to attain enlightenment, if we are wishing to liberate from samsara. So you should have these kind of actions. Samma Kammanta, right action. What are those? Right actions. There is a very important word, unwholesome deeds and wholesome deeds. These 2 words are very important when we are talking about right action. As we know, there are 3 roots which regard in unwholesome status: desire, hatred, and ignorance or delusion. If there is connection with these roots, so that we consider that action as a unwholesome actions. Unwholesome deeds are there. Very simply, everybody can understand what are the wholesome, what are the unwholesome. It's completely dependent on your mind. If you have some kind of thoughts regarding hatred, desire, or ignorance, then definitely that would be the unwholesome nature of your mind. It would be driving, acting as an actor, then it would become a unwholesome deed. Unwholesome deed or wrong action. So, unwholesome action always create some unhappy status in our mind, because it has desire, it has anger, full of ignorance, So then unhappy status are there, would be, no one can avoid that unhappy status. So generally we can understand where the unwholesome thoughts, that kind of action, exactly wrong action, it's going against wholesomeness, destroying your spirituality. This is the main things that we have to keep in our mind. The Buddha mentioned 3 components of right actions. According to this is about what we have in the books, literature reviews. Abstaining from taking life, abstaining from taking what is not given, abstaining from sexual misconduct. Actually, that word sexual misconduct, that word is not really matching with the Pali word. The Pali word is kamesu michachara. Kamesu means sensual, not sexual. But around the world, lot of translations, you can see sexual misconduct. When we are talking about sensual misconduct, sexuality also there. Therefore, better to get that word sensual misconduct. So then to recognize wrong action, you can directly understand taking life. It means killing living beings is a wrong action. And taking what is not given, stealing, is a wrong action. And sensual misconduct is a wrong action. So if someone abstaining from these activities, then that person have right action. Right action. So abstaining from taking life and abstaining from taking what is not given, means stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct or sensual misconduct. Generally in the books we have sexual misconduct, but I like to use the word sensual misconduct. I will explain the difference later. So, but first thing, abstaining from taking life. Why you want to abstain from taking life or killing? Why? What is the main purpose? Why we want to abstain from taking what is not given? Why you want to abstaining from stealing? Why? What is the purpose? There should be a meaning with all these actions. There should be a resource with all these actions. The teachings of the Buddha is timeless. You can see the results right away. That is the meaning of timeless. You don't want to wait to see the result in your next birth. This is the common mentality that traditional Buddhist people have. They do so many meritorious activities. They wait to get the results in next life. That's why in their funeral service, they make very good, strong wishes. May he or she attain enlightenment. While they are living, they don't make these wishes. But after the death, they make these wishes. May they attain enlightenment. Because they think enlightenment is something that they can achieve after the birth, after the death. No, in this very life. So, abstaining from killing and abstaining from stealing, what would be the results that you can experience? What are the results that you can experience? Why you don't want to kill? Why you don't want to steal? Why? We have to open our mind. We have to see Dhamma practical way. Why we do these kind of things? Then we can see the helpfulness of the way how we can get support to attain enlightenment. We can see it. But in this very life, if there is a person who did stealing, there is a person who is engaging with robbery or whatever, the lifting or whatever. The word that we use, stealing. Taking something not given. What would be the mentality of that person after that action? what would be the mentality? Huh? Dukkha, yes, dukkha is there. But very common words that we are using always in the society. Sorry? Guilt feelings would be there. Yes, fear would be there. Desire, unhappiness, mainly anger also there. Doubt and fear. These two thoughts are the dominant thoughts when you've done some kind of wrong action. Fear and doubt. Fear and doubt. So, when you are living with fear and doubt, then next step, what would be the next step? Stress. Next step, stress. Living with the stress in long time, then anxiety, then depression. Then you have to treat by psychiatry. So, each and everything happening in your mind, not outside, not in the body. Everything happening in your mind. Then we know when you are in stress, you can't do nothing, positive things. You don't have any positive energy when you are stressed. In some degrees. But when you depress, there's no way to think about any positive things. It's a very difficult situation. Sometimes some people need medication to get recover, because completely in the brain, the chemistry going to be changed because of that depression situation. Chemical imbalance would be there. See, even the physical form can change because of that mind. It's changing. When you are in angry, how would be the nature of your mind? Blood is circulating very fast and changing colors of your mind. So all these physical things are changing. Anger is a thought. It's not something in your body, it's a thought. So, stealing or killing or sensual misconduct or whatever wrong actions create unhappy status in our mind. Stress, anxiety, depressions, all these situations would be there. Traditionally, we learn in our culture these things from our grandparents, not from the books, from our grandparents. When we were kids, they told us stories. Among that stories, there's a very famous, popular story I would like to share with you. I know perhaps your grandparents are not anymore now, some of you. So I can be your grandfather now, telling this story for you. This is a story. Keep this story in your mind, and then you can see the relationship with these unwholesome actions or wrong actions. There was a farmer. He had very good field. He was cultivating many things. And as you experience sometimes, perhaps, farmers, they like to go to their field in the morning, early in the morning. Every day they like to see their crop. Every day they like to talk with their vegetables and the things that they are growing. And they like hanging around with those things. This village farmer also, every day morning he goes to his field, the farmland, and going around the farmland, he had been noticing many things, fruits, flowers, vegetables and things. So many things were there. There was special things which we call ash melon. Ash melon. In singular word, puhul, alu puhul. So it's kind of ash melon. It's like the melons, kind of melons, similar to pumpkin, not pumpkin. So he was looking this ash melon. He was very happy. It's growing well. It's look beautiful. He was very happy about that. Looking and take care in every day. One day evening, look around his farmland. He noticed it's now it's enough. Now it's ready to harvest. So thinking, not today, tomorrow morning, I will take it from the field. Having that thoughts, he went from his farmland, and following the morning, when he coming to see his ash melon was not there. Something happened to it. It was not there. He was so upset, because to see your productions, everybody like to see your productions. Everybody happy talking about your productions. But that farmer, he was very upset, but he was very smart person. He wanted to find what happened to that ash melon. He wanted to find the person who steal. He had the bell, kind of bell that he used for his farm. So he took that bell, and he went to the place where people are gathered. City, town, downtown, where the people are gathered. He went to that place. He started the dance. He was dancing. Generally, we know when someone starts to do something, special things, we like to surround him with them, look at his things, what is he performing. He started to perform a dance. Now he is dancing. While he was dancing, people gathered around him. Many people who went to post office, he is also there. Who went to shopping, he is also there. Who went to buy a car, he is also there. Everybody gathered around him. Now he is dancing. At the end, while he was dancing, he started to sing a song. Now he started to sing a song. That song, there was a sentence. That sentence is, I can recognize the thief who had been stolen my ash melon. That sentences was there. Puhul hora karen dani. I can recognize the thief. Looking at his shoulder. This was the sentences that he used there. While he was singing, just hearing that sound, that sentence, there was a person who started to look his shoulder. That person was looking at his shoulder. Directly the farmer came and caught him. You are the person who took my ash melon. You are the person who has stolen my ash melon. He caught him. How? Was there any ash on his shoulder? No. No ash on his shoulders. Then he had doubt. He was living with doubt. He was living with fear. Doubt and fear was there in his mind. Then, just hearing that sentence, I can recognize the thief, looking at his shoulder, he was thinking, oh, he is telling about me, because he was living with doubt. And he got fear. Oh, he recognized me. He has fear. So right away, his action, his actions give some clue to think about to the farmer. But actually there wasn't any ash or any kind of situations there to recognize him as a thief. But because of his reaction for that word, that sentence, that person was able to find him. So now you can see, if you did some kind of mistake, wrong thing, doubt and fear increasing in your mind. These are universal nature, universal law. Police might not able to catch you. Fingerprints might not able to prove it. Camera not able to catch you. But you know through your mind. Your mind knows everything what happened there. Then doubt and fear would be there. This is the main roots. Doubt and fear is the main roots to increase our stress, anxiety, depression. Doubt and fear is main reason, main causes to increase stress, anxiety, depression. Now you know the reality. If you are living with the stress, anxiety, depressions, your actions would be not perfect. You have so many, you're going to have miserable stages with these stress, anxiety, and depressions. Around the world, you can see what is happening. People does not have peaceful mind. They don't have clear vision. They don't able to follow the rules, regulations, and respect others. Living with human qualities, it is impossible things for them because they are living with the stress, anxiety. They are blind. Basically, they are blind. They can't see things as they are. There's no way to see things as they are because they are living in cloud. Their vision completely, their vision is completely out. So they have hindrances, tendencies. All these unwholesome status are there with them. Why? Because of their own action. Now you can see why. What is the main purpose? To live according to this Samma Sankammanta. Why we have to live with Samma Kammanta, right actions? We have to live with right actions because to have clean and clear mind. To have clean and clear mind. In Anguttara Nikaya, there is a sutta explained with few similes the nature of our mind. That simile is, just think about a pond. In that pond, we have waves. When we have waves, you can see the depth. You can see clearly the depth of the pond. In that pond, the water mixing with mud, the colors, you can see. If there is some kind of plants growing top of the water, then you can see the depth. Same way, our mind have same nature. Sometimes minds like that boiling water. We have anger, mind is very unclear, is completely out of tension, and it's completely mixing with your unhappy status, unhappy thoughts, and very dangerous situation would be there with your mind because of angry thoughts. Just arising anger in your mind. You can't see things. There is no mindfulness, no concentration when you are living in anger. No mindfulness, no concentration. That's why sometimes while you are having some discussions, sometimes perhaps among your co-workers or with your friends, and later you think, oh, I'm so sorry, I did wrong things at that moment because my mind was not clear. Better not to do that. Better not to tell that. You are worried, guilty about your word and actions after done it. Why? At that moment, anger was there. You were not able to decide what you should do. You were not able to decide it because your mind, it was very fast. Mind always running very fast. We are not able to make any decision that things are happening. So now we can see all these unhappy status in our mind increase with our action, wrong action. That's why we want to protect ourselves. We want to protect our actions. We want to protect our wholesomeness. For what? To have peaceful mind. To take care of our mindfulness. To increase our energy in wholesome way. That's why we want to abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, and abstain from sensual misconduct. So these are our responsibility to take care of our mind. We like happy. We like happiness. We like happy situations. We like to have clear mind, to see things as much as clear. If your mind is not free from all these anger and unwholesome thoughts, then you can't see things clearly. You don't know who is there. You don't know the words that, what kind of words to use appropriately there. You don't know that. You can't recognize it because your anger or unwholesome thoughts blocking all these views. So that's why we need to have right action. This is the reason for right actions. Now it's very simply understand why we should live according to Noble Eightfold Path and the benefits that we can gain applying right actions to our day-to-day life. So the last one, I would like to come to the, what is that sexual misconduct and sensual misconduct, but I would like to come to that one later. Just go a little bit about abstaining from taking life. So when you do some kind of killings, the Pali word panati pata, taking life, disturbing life. So here are someone avoids taking of life and abstain from it without a stick or sword. Now, what is happening to your sympathy, empathy, all these mental status? This is the very, very important situations. Now it's going into a deeper level. When you start to kill, when you start to disturb, killing or disturbing, both things we can consider as abstaining from killing, taking life. So then we are not able to think about welfare of other living beings. If you are not abstaining from these things, then what about the welfare? No sympathy there, no empathy there, no any other loving friendliness thoughts, because you are living with cruelty. Your mind is full of anger, full of hatred, full of delusions. So then there is no any wholesome thoughts, or as we generally use, there is no sympathy or empathy there, which is not human way that person can behave. So then abstaining from taking life has a wider application than simply refrain from killing other human beings. The precepts enjoy abstaining from killing any sentient being. Sentient beings, Bhavana, Satta, the Pali words, is living being endued with mind or consciousness for practical purposes. This means human beings, animals, and insects. We practice metta for all living beings. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. May all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Why we practice metta to the universe? Because we are part of the universe. In particular sutta that Buddha said, imasmin bhyavamatte kalebare lokancha loka samudyancha loka nirodhancha loka nirodhagamini patipadancha panjapemi. This length of body, using this length of body, I would like to say the origin of the world, cessation of the world, everything about the world. So, this is a world. So, this world also connecting to the universe. It is part of the universe. Therefore, if you are practicing metta, may I be well, happy, and peaceful, all others go to hell. That is not real metta. That is not real metta. Metta should be, we practice metta to increase our happiness, to increase our compassion, to increase our sympathetic joy and equanimity. This is the meaning of practicing metta. So, to increase all these qualities with us, we have to practice for all living beings. Sabbe Pana, Sabbe Bhuta, Sabbe Satta. In Karaniya Metta Sutta, as you know, long, medium, subtle, gross, visible, invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth. You have to consider about all living beings. All living beings. We have to make wishes for them to be happy. These thoughts are coming through your metta. To have that metta thoughts, loving friendliness thought, there should be clean mind. If you don't have that clean mind, there's no way to develop your metta. There's no way to develop your metta. Therefore, taking life means the results. What would be the results? The wide way we have to practice metta to the universe. All living beings, living near or far, born or coming to birth, seen, unseen, human, unhuman, does not matter. All living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. This is the way that we have to practice metta. That's the way that we can practice as well as we can gain the results that we need. What is the results? Happiness. Where, how, to whom? Your happiness, not someone else's happiness. You can be happy if your environment is peaceful and happy. This environment is part of you. You are part of the environment. Therefore, we always we have to think about the happiness of other living beings. That's why we practice metta. So, abstaining from killing, there is direct connections, direct connection with the universe. Abstaining, and same as what you are doing, you are practicing, you are wishing their happiness, you are wishing their peace, and you are supporting their peace. So this is the results that we can see if you can abstain from killing. The taking of life that is to be avoided is internal killing. Deliberate the destructions of life of being endured with the consciousness, the principles of. Therefore, in here, very important thing, we can consider even the plants as living things. But in Buddhist explanation, we not consider plant as living, living with consciousness. Plants also have a life, but it does not have a consciousness. It does not have a mind. Therefore, as lay people, yes, you can cut trees, you can do some kind of cleaning, but as high-ordained monk, you're not supposed to cut trees. We have that precepts. But as lay people, yes, you can do it. This not belongs to Panatipata, abstaining from killing. But considering about monastic courts, yes, you're not supposed to cut trees. Living trees, you're not supposed to. Because trees does not have a consciousness, but there is kind of senses. Trees and all plants have kind of senses, but they don't have consciousness. That is different. Senses and consciousness means two different things. You might know better than me about through your experience and knowledge, but according to the Buddhist explanation, it does not have a consciousness. All living beings, animals, humans, birds, all these beings have consciousness. Therefore, this particular right actions belongs for all these living beings, not the things that we can see outside these living beings, animals. Trees are not there. Absence may be taken to apply two kinds of actions, the primary and secondary. The primary is the actual destructions of life. The secondary is the deliberately harming or torturing another being without killing it. So, abstaining killing means you don't supposed to disturb any others. It means you're not supposed to use bad word. No, it is also kind of disturb. You're not supposed to even wish some kind of harmful or harmful wishes for them. What you like, what you don't like, don't wish others to happen that. That is also part of here. It is indirect or secondary things about abstaining, killing. So the next one, stealing. Because I put this, stealing things belongs to the dogs, not humans. Avoid taking what is not given and abstain from it. What another person possess of goods and chattel in the village or in the woods, that he does not take away with the there's a very important thing about the practical way stealing. No one talking about stealing time. This is also should be here. Stealing time. For example, you have a job. They pay for you a salary, monthly salary. They are asking to work 8 hours per day. If you are not able to cover that 8 hour with a certain amount of work, then you also in that stealing process. Still in time. In practical way, particularly about Sri Lankan government workers, all are stealing. I don't know about other countries. Here also, government workers particularly, I don't know whether you are government workers or not, according to my bad experience, unfortunately. They look like stealing. I don't know exactly whether they really have some works to do or not, but look like they are, when we go to their office, they always have dramas for us. You know, very simple thing, even very simple thing, they have dramas. That is the way how they steal things. So stealing things means not just physical things. Ideas, thoughts. Now I think they have some kind of rules and regulations and new laws about stealing, about ideas, thoughts and things. But anyway, stealing means not just taking some physical things, thoughts, ideas, times, all these things are there. So at the end, you can be happy if you are abstaining from stealing, because you have to, you done your things perfectly. You can be happy through that results. Who will come to you, you can provide your services with your full effort and your happy thoughts for them, then you also can be happy after done all these things, because your mind knows what you did there. If you don't know what was there, then there is no reasons to be happy. But if really you know, oh, I did right thing, my action was completely right, I'm not wrong, then you can be happy. That's why right action is very important. Stealing thing is like this. All these are considered as a stealing. All these actions. The last one, sensual misconduct. Instead of sexual misconduct, we like to have that word, abstaining from sensual misconduct. The Pali word, as I mentioned, kame su michachara. Kame su means sensual. Sensual bases are here, eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. Also mind, we can consider. So, if someone using their eyes, what we do, we do so many things, but basically we take outside objectives to our mind using our eyes. Watching movies, watching games, all these kind of things. If someone does not have a limit, watching movies is not something prohibited things for lay people. Playing games are not prohibited things for lay people because kame su michachara. Lay people introduced by kama bhoginam gihina. Kama bhoginam. You have, your life is kind of sensual, indulgent life. There should be limits. When you go over the limits, then you are breaking that precepts, kame su michachara. It means if you are playing games over and over, then you are breaking kame su michachara. If you are watching unlimited movies, unlimited, it means just watching one movie per day or week, that's not kame su michachara. Whole night, spending days and days without doing nothing, then kame su michachara. It is also kame su michachara. Particularly introduce these precepts to your kids. They don't have limits in their games. It's kame su michachara. They are not abstaining from sensual misconduct. They're indulgent with sensual misconduct. So now you know the results through their behavior. How would be the results? Particularly around the world, there are particular situations with the kids because of these addictions. Electronic gadgetic addictions. Now increase in some kind of, still some diseases they did not recognize even. They don't have name for that. Some kids, because the results of this sensual pleasure, unlimited sensual pleasure. So, kame su michachara means there's no limits to see, sight, sounds, smell, taste, and tangible objects. That is meaning sensual misconduct. That is sensual misconduct. So, you have experience, you can see these things through your experience. How would be the nature? How would be the nature if you are not following these rules for your life? If you are not abstaining from sensual misconduct, how would be the nature? There is no way to think about Noble Eightfold Path to attaining enlightenment. It's completely miserable, unhappy situation would be there. All these things are arising. 10 tendencies are here. All these things are arising. I don't have enough time to explain all these tendencies and 5 hindrances, but basically, you can keep in your mind. When you are not able to follow these precepts, right actions, tendencies are there arising in your mind. All the tendencies are arising in your mind. So, 5 hindrances are the things that block in your Nibbanic path. If you are living with these 5 hindrances, these are the 5 hindrances, there's no way to if you are living with hindrances, there's no way to apply this Noble Eightfold Path to your day-to-day life. It is impossible things. So we have to control basically our 5 hindrances and 10 tendencies. At the end, we can eliminate all these tendencies to attain enlightenment, to maintain clean and clear mind. That's why we need right action. That is the main purpose, to have right actions. If you don't have that right action, so the mind nature would be like this, full of hindrances, full of tendencies. All these unwholesome thoughts, defilements are there. So then, because of this defilement, you don't have clear mind. You can't see things as they are. We are trying to see things as they are. To see things as they are, connecting your mind, you have to have a very clear mind. If you don't have that clear mind, it is impossible to see things as they are. That's why we have to abstain from killing, stealing, and sensual misconduct. These 3 things are important, very important. In the morning, the importance of your words. Bhante Ji had explained importance of your words. How should be clear and clean your words. So there is a connection with these right actions also, with Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto. All these are, even though we discuss separately, all these are interconnected. So all these are considered as a virtual practice. All these are belongs to the group Sila, moral. Sila increase our happiness. Sila help us to have clean and clear mind. There are Pali words, Yoniso Manasikara, Yoniso Manasikara, Sati Sampajanya, Sati Samadhi. All these Pali words explain about the nature of clear, clean mind. One thing I would like to add was Yoniso Manasikara. This is very important. Yoniso Manasikara means the origins of your thoughts. Origins of thoughts. Recognizing the origins of your thoughts, you can develop your effort and energy to get rid of that roots if it is regarding unwholesome. That is the Yoniso Manasikara. So right away, to arise and depart thoughts, it takes only 1 nanosecond. Now you can see how much speed up our mind, skills, how much speed up. Within 1 nanosecond, mind appear and disappearing. So in that short time period, we have to recognize it. If we are not able to recognize at that moment, then it's ready to create so many unhappy status. So that's why through this application, Noble8Fold Path, we are trying to uplift our concentration, uplift our Yoniso Manasikara, Sati Sampajanya, wise considerations and wise mindfulness, to see things as they are, to see things as they are. So this is the purpose. This is the results that we can achieve. I think even tomorrow we may get chance to talk about these things, because the tomorrow topics would be related to this one, because all the, as I mentioned, all these are interconnected. So therefore, we can discuss something about particularly about tendencies and hindrances, the nature of hindrances and the nature of tendencies, the way how it's blocking the path of Nibbana, we can see it, we can discuss. Because if I start 5 hindrances, now it's take time. To just talk about 5 hindrances, at least we need to half an hour, at least, to just give some brief explanation about that. But anyway, as conclusion, keep in your mind, if you are not able to abstain from killing, stealing, and sensual misconduct, tendencies and hindrances going up and increasing in your mind, which is completely out of the path of Noble Eightfold Path, which is completely blocking your path to attain enlightenment. So that's why we have to observe precepts, live according to precepts, to practice, to develop our energy, to gain, through our energy, we can attain enlightenment. There is no barrier if you have that energy, if you can develop that energy yourself. Perhaps in this moment, we may not have that energy, but you don't need to worry about that. Oh, how I can do this? You don't need to worry about. At the beginning, there should be only positive thoughts. Oh, that is good. If I can apply that, that would be wonderful. If you have that thought, that positive thoughts, that's enough for now. That's enough for now. There should be a way to start. We can start with that positive thoughts. So, step by step, developing our energy, increasing our practice. Yes, we all one day can attain enlightenment. Keep that thoughts in your mind. Keep that thoughts in your mind and develop your virya, energy. It is not easy things. The Buddha spent 28 Buddhas, actually 24 Buddhas dispensations to practice himself. There were so many, but basically, yes, I wanted to attain enlightenment as Buddha. Having that aspiration, he had been practicing 24 dispensations, Buddha's dispensations, millions and millions years. So it is not easy things. Therefore, we don't want to worry about, we don't want to disappoint. Oh, how I can do all these things? It is impossible to live like this, living in this 21st century. Don't develop these kind of negative thoughts with yourself. Always be positive. Yes, we can do. We can do. I like it. I have that energy with me. One day, I would be able to attain enlightenment. Having that aspiration, let us practice. Okay. Thank you very much. You can take a 10 minutes break and come 4:30 for Q&A session.